Right, so my project was on the effects that humans have had on the animal population, which is basically going over what we have done to result in the decline of the animal population and how we've harmed them, and some solutions that we can take into account as we try and help the animal population rebuild itself from the ground up. Some statistics. The first one I got was from populationmatters.org. And since 1970, the human population has more than doubled, while on the other hand, the population of animals has declined by more than two-thirds. And also, species are becoming extinct 1,000 times faster than they would without any human impacts, which shows that there is a direct correlation between human impacts and the wildlife population. A study done by Rewild.org shows that 2,200 species have been lost across all continents, many of which scientists believe to be completely gone extinct, which is extremely sad to see that 2,200 species are just gone. And the current events in the animal kingdom, as far as wildlife population, is being referred to as scientists by the sixth mass extinction. There have been 5 previous ones where animals have declined at this kind of rate, but this one is the most severe, according to studies done by scientists. There's a picture of a northern white rhino, which is one of the most recent species to go extinct, and I believe that is the last male, or that is the picture of one of the last white rhinos to go. Some recent extinctions that have happened in the past 150 years include all kinds of animals, from marine life, mammals, amphibians, and plenty of others. Some notable losses include the Spix macaw, which was a beautiful blue bird, the northern white rhinoceros, which was killed for the ivory in its horns by many poachers, which they would use to make goods and trade those goods for money, sell them. The Yangtze river dolphin, which was actually the first dolphin species to go extinct due to human impact, and the Javan tiger, which were native to the island of Java and were so common. There was just so many of them that they were actually considered pests until the island began to develop and become more advanced, and that resulted in their population quickly declining. There's a picture of 2 Spix macaws, and my uncle actually owned one of them about 15 years ago. And yeah, they went extinct in 2019. Here are some of the causes. This is back to populationmatters.org. It stated that because of industry, agricultural, fossil fuel use, the carbon dioxide levels in the air are at an all-time high, because all of these things are putting emissions into the air and just pumping carbon dioxide out at a very alarming rate. These practices, as well as emissions from vehicles, forest fires, which actually destroy the homes of wildlife, as well as adding to the air pollution issue. Some home combustion devices, they all contribute to air pollution, which results in lower air quality, which results in animals dying, and then also results in global warming, which kills animals as well as for air quality. And there's a picture of a factory. It just shows you just how many emissions they're putting into the air and the amount of contributing they do to the air pollution problem. Some more causes include dam building. This results in a lack of migration for the marine life, and it doesn't allow the fish to properly migrate, which causes them to inevitably die. And that's obviously extremely sad, and it's overlooked quite often. Deforestation, um, it's very frequent. Industrial companies, residential development, dam building, forest fires, all of those things cause deforestation, and which also again results in direct habitat loss, which leads to the death of wildlife because they're not able to safely migrate, and this causes them to in turn die. And then there's a picture that's really sad to look at of deforestation and what it looks like. It just shows how much forest was there and how many homes for animals that there was, and just to think about how many species of animals lost their homes due to this is extremely sad to think about. Here are some ways to fix the problems. And the first thing, it's some obvious things that we could do, like switching to electric appliances, electric cars. Don't tear down forests. You You would think that would be simple. Don't start forest fires. Again, you would think that'd be simple. And finding alternatives to dams, other ways to get electric going. The problem with this is a lot of these things aren't preventable. Forest fires can happen naturally due to lack of precipitation. It makes the ground extremely dry, makes it vulnerable to fire and burning, and it can actually happen without any human impact, but human impact does contribute a lot to forest fires. Other things that are unrealistic are switching everything that we have that is gas to electric. It's just not realistic to ask everyone to do that. And then there's a picture of a Tesla, which is one of the most popular electric car companies. And they actually don't put any carbon dioxide into the air. So, I mean, obviously, if we could all switch to that, it would help reduce the carbon emissions. Other ways, which is a big one, is to increase the punishment for poachers. You know, fine them more money, give them more jail time, have people guard them so they're caught more often, and kind of make an example of them. And it would result in less people participating in the poaching practice. And then we would obviously just have more animals that are not killed. And then there's a picture of a rhino that was killed and it had its horn harvested to be made into goods with the ivory that's in it and sold for whoever killed it. Other ways would be to switch some gas appliances that we have to electric if it's affordable, and again, switching cars to electric if it's affordable, finding alternatives to paper, building materials, and other things that are made out of wood to avoid deforestation. I mean, that one's a little on the stretch side, but there is a possibility with that. And also taking better care of the endangered species. It's too often that we see an endangered species that is just brought into a sanctuary too late to where there's really no way to help it, and it ends up just going extinct because we're not able to get them to reproduce because of the lack of time that we have in order to help them reproduce. And just getting them in there sooner would, help the problem, and getting obviously a male and a female so we can reproduce and help build that population from the ground up. And then there's a picture of a young brown bear in an animal sanctuary. Kind of cute. In summary, it's obvious that humans have made quite an impact on the wildlife population, and the decisions are honestly just selfish. When we're making these decisions, it's obvious that the humans don't care about the wildlife population because we're doing things that directly impact it, and without blinking an eye a lot of the time. What needs to happen before it's too late is human population needs to start making better decisions, and decisions that will help the animal population. And once we just get into the habit of caring about our wildlife,